Jim, thanks for sitting down with me today. I appreciate it. Jim, production service company. Can you tell me a little bit about how are things looking this year in your region and the regions you do business in? Just give me a bit of an overview.
Sure. Things look really good actually where we are. We had a really good planting season. So last year the spring was pretty wet, but this year rain was adequate but not excessive. So planting went in very timely. It started a little bit cool, but warmed up pretty quickly kind of in the middle of May. So splits went in fine. Yeah, it was a pretty organized planting season overall.
Which makes everyone a little bit more calm.
Right, absolutely.
Calm
absolutely.
is good.
Yep.
Calm is good.
Yep.
We're really not calm at this time, are we? We're busy and flying and trying to keep our customers informed and getting them information. And you guys have recently launched a new idea, a new way of doing exactly that. Can you tell me a little bit about that and how the idea came to be?
Sure. So the program is called MySupply Live. And that's what we intended to be, a live look at your seed supply the entire season long. We've built this app on the Apple infrastructure, so it's called an app, but it's more of a business management system, and it's fully integrated into our company. So our field scouts, our seed growers, even the contractors that are in the field are using the app on the iPhone to record every piece of data in the field, record every single action that they accomplish, and all that information is geo-located, time-stamped. That's reported instantly back to our team, so all of our field supervisors and management folks, as well as the clients who we're producing that field for. So they're getting instant updates on their iPad, or they can access it on a website, mysupplylive.com, and see exactly every single action that we took in that field on their behalf, how the field's looking, and then we also have predictive functions in there. So we project based on GDU accumulation compared to average. We're projecting detasseling dates, we project harvest dates, and report that to our clients as well. So you really have a live look at your entire seed supply 24/7.
How's the feedback been?
It's been fantastic.
Nice.
You know, a lot of companies just aren't used to having that kind of level of transparency with their production. And you know, our company motto is delivering trust through transparency. And so we strongly believe that if you're doing these projects on behalf of other companies, producing seed for them, ultimately they need to know what's happening at every stage in that process. And so we use this tool to report that information to them, so they do have that full transparency of their seed supply, and have confidence that we're managing the crop to the best of our ability. If there is an issue, they know about it instantly, and then they can make decisions within their organization based on that information.
Jim, we're seeing considerable consolidation within the seed industry. I think it's certainly a topic of discussion here at ASTA. We're seeing the multinationals in consolidation mode, and yet while that's going on, we're seeing independent seed companies, small and medium size, growing considerably. I just had a conversation today talking 2-3 points of market share gain in the past year for independent seed companies.
Sure.
A powerful place to be, and lots of growth. You guys continue to grow alongside with that. I think you just recently added, for sure, an organic seed manager now.
Yep.
And so we'll talk about that in a second. But what do you attribute to this growth on the independent side? What's going on there?
So I think it's really an interesting dynamic, because if you rewind back maybe 7-8 years, a lot of folks were calling for that independent sector to be under significant pressure by now. A lot of I guess analysts in the industry would have said the independent sector wouldn't be a topic of conversation today, but here they are thriving and finding more opportunities. I think some of that has to do with the product mix that the independent companies bring to the table. For example, they were a lot quicker when conventional corn started to pick up additional market share here in the last couple of years due to commodity prices being a little bit lower. Farmers were looking for a lower cost input, and independent companies were much more willing and able to shift their portfolio to a lower traded product to get a lower priced bag of seed on the farmer's field. And you know, so I think then because of that success, independent companies have gone out and hired very qualified people from the multinationals, and are really just capitalizing on that opportunity.
Right. And I think that we continue to hear in some of the dialogues with IPSA and different groups, there is a level of service that they get, that they've come to expect and that they engage with, that's a little different too, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they can be exactly what that farmer needs them to be in that very precise area.
Right.
There's more genetic access, I think, to smaller footprint areas, and the regional companies play in that market a little bit more significantly than the multinationals, where they're looking for broader footprint genetics and hybrids, whereas an independent company is looking for products just for their specific market. And so, yeah, they're having significant success, and now what I like to see is how they're building their organization to continue that growth. So, yeah, I don't think it's just a couple-year blip, a weird moment in the market. Right. I think they're building sustainable systems to be able to continue that growth for years to come. So it's exciting to see.
Awesome. So now back to the organic piece. Can you talk a little bit about when and how did Gro Alliance get involved in organic, and why was that an important step to make?
Our first entry into the organic market was in 2010, and we did some organic specialty corn back then. And really our interest in the organic market was around the emerging growth of that sector, and what we thought was kind of a lack of what I'll call professional seed, larger seed production organization participating in that market. A lot of small independent companies. They were mainly vertically integrated, so doing some production and then also doing sales. And we felt like there was a real opportunity to bring a little bit more scale into the organic market. And so we're one of the largest organic seed corn producers now in the U.S. And we're expanding from producing just around Wisconsin, which is where we started, to now we're producing in Indiana. We have plans to produce in more locations in the future, and I was having a conversation with somebody else here at this meeting about it's the one place where I feel like the seed sector has been a little bit behind of where the consumer is moving the market. And so we feel like if we can participate in the market, bring consistent, reliable supply of organic seed to the industry, those seed companies can get that to farmers. Farmers can get the product out to the consumer market.
And it's about getting the consumer what they want, isn't it?
Right. Yep.
To do that, I think we have to maintain. We need to maintain some firewalls, shall we call it?
Sure.
You got your hand in GM, non-GM, organic. How do you manage that from a production standpoint? I'm sure it's just a simple.
Yeah, it's definitely not simple. And I think we're pretty unique in the fact that we do organic seed and GMO seed. We also do popcorn seed, so we really represent a lot of different sectors of the seed corn market. And you have to build your system around those specific requirements and specific challenges. So I think one of the struggles companies have when they're trying to integrate a different production model is using the logic from kind of using or not shifting their paradigm to what that new system requires. And so you've got to change pieces of your organization to really maximize the production capability, maximize the efficiency of the operation. And so we've really done that. We've looked holistically at what do we do different in organic? How do we partner with the best growers? How do we bring resources to the table that grower doesn't have in terms of knowledge, equipment, staff, and just different expertise to that field? And rather than trying to fit these opportunities into a bucket that already exists, we create brand new buckets that are perfectly designed to fit that system. I think that's the way to take advantage of it.
That's the right approach, yeah. It makes a lot of sense, Jim. You're also part of the Seed World Insiders team. Yep. And in your last article, you talked a little bit about biodiversity.
Yep.
Made some comments that I think were interesting and really got a lot of folks thinking. Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So I think, going back, kind of looking at the history of the industry, one of the main reasons folks thought that the independent companies would struggle now was access to germplasm and technology, and how do you compete as an independent company with the multinationals? You know, they bring so many resources to the table, and they do so many things incredibly well. And breeding is one thing that multinationals do really well. But as the accessibility of new breeding techniques, the cost of that technology goes down, the availability of information becomes greater and greater. It starts to allow opportunities for independent breeding efforts to take advantage of technology and information that was previously inaccessible.
How does precision ag fit into that mix?
So precision ag really helps in the precise measurement of how those products work on a specific farm or a specific soil type or geography. We've gotten incredibly better at measuring, let's take corn for example, corn yield from weigh wagon days, test plot days, and now into the precision technology. And so you can measure much smaller differences between different hybrids. And so whereas maybe a few years ago one product might work across the entire state of Iowa, now you can start to divide hybrids up around soil types, around different topographies, different end-use markets is another opportunity for independent breeding. And I think the combination of better measurement on a smaller scale, that's more affordable with technology that's more affordable for the breeding effort itself, is leading to that.
Excellent. Well, I look forward to seeing your next installation into Insider's Gym.
Thank you.
And thanks very much for taking the time to sit down with me. I appreciate it. Pleasure to see you.
Thank you.